again, I try not to do any research for these. I want these to be organic conversations, but I did come across, Russia has something like 40 icebreakers. China is manufacturing many icebreakers, and the United States has two. And what it made me think, as of right now, right, or as the article that was posted last year, what it made me think is, how as a leader, because I assume that this number differential is the same as when you were leading it. As a leader, how do you inspire and motivate your crew, your employees to work hard, extreme, and while they also know the competition right next door has double, triple, quadruple the resources? How do you keep people from just saying, like, look, what are we even doing here?
That's a great question, because sometimes people presume that to be successful, you have to be on top of the world. And quite frankly, the Coast Guard is the smallest of the armed forces by a large margin. We're also not the biggest in our own department, which is the Department of Homeland Security. So we're always scrambling for resources. We're always under-resourced inside the United States government, but also when you look over at our competitors, when you look over at Russia and China and the icebreakers that they're building. And one might ask, China doesn't even have a nexus to the Arctic or the Antarctic, but yet they are there because they see the opportunity. And those countries are both have a lot of icebreakers. I don't know the exact number, because like you said, it's just dozens and dozens. We have two left. One that can only go to the Arctic because it's not strong enough to go to the Antarctic. That's the Healy, and the other one's the Polar Star. And they're on, the Polar Star is on its last legs. And yeah, so how do you motivate a team or a crew or a workplace when you're the underdog? And history's replete with examples of that. I think there's a power that comes from being small but mighty. And I think it's a matter of your purpose. So I always go back to the purpose. And if you've got a purpose in your organization that is bigger than any individual in the organization, that can unite people around the common cause, as opposed to letting them divide and crumble, then that's where the power is uniting around a common purpose. In the Coast Guard, we call that purpose, to some extent, a mission. So the mission of keeping America safe and secure, and of doing the best we can, despite the fact that we might not have the same resources. It just means that we know we have to work harder, smarter, and better, and look for opportunities in the adversity. And this doesn't just apply to an organization. It applies to individuals who might say, how do I get by in a workplace where everybody else around me, when I look left and right, looks smarter, faster, better than I, and my playing field isn't level? Well, maybe no one's playing field's level. Maybe everybody needs to look at defining themselves a passion and a purpose, and realizing that they have the power, and they just need to focus that power into a purpose. Sure, if it's scattered, they're not going to be able to unite themselves in a personal mission to get ahead. They have to laser focus their energy on a purpose. So finding that purpose, whether you're an individual or an organization, is key to success.
It's a little bit funny. As I looked at it, I was like, how do icebreakers break ice? And it actually says what they do is they kind of focus in, right? The whole, I'm not sure if that's the right word, the whole of the ship, like the front of the ship, focuses on the ice and kind of gets on top of it and breaks it down. But like you said, if it was, spread out everywhere, it wouldn't be as effective. You have to have a focus. I really love that example.
Even if refine it more, when you're up there on the icebreaker, you go up to a place high up on the mast. You climb up through a steel tube about 50 feet above the deck, and you have another place where you drive the ship up there with ship controls and a wheel, a helm to steer it. And the ice is a great big expanse of white, and you're backing up and ramming with the bow of the ship to get through the ice to crack it. And when you crack it, creates a lead, what's called a lead. Oh, sorry, my hands are too big on there. It creates a lead through the ice, and you have to focus in on that crack and follow it, because that's where the pressure has been released for you. So the analogy you can even carry forward is in your personal life, personal, professional life, look for those places of least resistance, a crack, a lead that you can follow to
Yes.
achieve your goals. Don't just try to break through and back and ram against a hard
Yeah.
concrete wall or a hard piece of ice. Find where there's a softer spot, a crack in it, and exploit the crack.
Well, look, we're going to play a game right now. We're going to see who gives up first. And you just talked about needing sometimes to back up and ram it. And sometimes in life and in your career, you have to be willing to take a step back, reassess, and then go for it. So we can keep this. Can you keep moving?
So yeah, when you're backing and ramming in the ice, sometimes there are things called a pressure ridge. And that means the ice has been pushed together, the sheets of ice, by the wind, and it's kind of stacked up where the wind has blown it together and created a deep ridge, like 20 feet above the ice and then 20 feet down below the water. And you ram up against that and you can't get through it. So you back and ram and you back and ram and you fail. So you hit the ice and you shatter, the whole ship shudders, which, is difficult when you hit something and fail and you fall back and you have to reassess and look for that crack that you might find somewhere and try to navigate through it, but you're going to fail. And my analogy, and I've heard other people say this too, so I probably heard it years ago, is don't be afraid to fail, but fail forward. Or in the case of an icebreaker, fail while you're running in to try to break through to achieve your goals. So fail because you've been pushing against something, failing forward. Don't fail because the winds of change blow you back on your back and you lay there helpless.
Look, this is my last one. If you got another one, you beat me. But you said as you hit the ice, the ship kind of shudders, it shakes. And sometimes in life, as we are pushing forward, we feel like it's painful. Trying to get to our goals doesn't feel good, but we have to remember we're not broken. We may feel a little shuddered, a little shaken, but we can keep pushing forward to reach our goals. I have nothing else after that. So,
well, I think the key is to also look at the end. Your life is a journey. You're breaking through this pressure ridge that I talked about. Then you're going to come up to icebergs you've got to navigate around. You're in uncharted waters throughout your life. Everybody is. It's not a path that's been snow plowed out in front of you. So you should look at the life's journey as where the satisfaction is when you do break through that ice. And so many people are focused on the destination.
Yeah.
And this whole thing about appreciating life's journey, not the destination, comes from one of my favorite books, which is Don Quixote by Cervantes. And in it, Don Quixote talks about how it's the it's the road, not the inn. You're a traveler on the road of life. And that's where the obstacles and the great satisfaction of accomplishment comes, not sitting in an inn, eating your dinner in a comfort zone, So I think the idea of being on an icebreaker, being cold, tired, wet, hungry, and scared is where you build the character that you need to succeed in life, not sitting at the destination at the inn, just sitting around fat, dumb, and happy eating bonbons, right?
Hello, everyone. This is Alex Tremble from GPS Leadership Solutions. And if you found this last interview to be awesome, spectacular, and actually you benefited from it, let me tell you, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Visit the alextrembleshow.com, information below in the description, and that's where you'll find the full uninterrupted interview. And I'm telling you, there's so much great content you'll hear from this past leader, as well as all the other leaders we've already interviewed. So remember, don't just look back, reach back. If there's someone who you think will benefit from this interview or any of the other interviews, make sure you share it with them. Click the like, click the subscribe. And as I always like to end all my sessions, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.